In the race to represent the Sacramento region in Congress, one Republican says he's up for the challenge.
Keep in mind, Democrats make up more than half of Congressional District 7, but U.S. Army veteran and former Galt Elementary School District trustee Tom Silva says he's ready to represent all voters in the district. KCRA 3's Ashley Zavala sat down with him.
I really do believe that representation matters.
Tom Silva is the sole Republican running to represent the Sacramento area in Congress. The avid cyclist and father of 10 says he'd be the first person from Galt to run for a seat in the House of Representatives.
Galt is on the southern edge of Sacramento County. We often feel neglected when it comes to resources and representation, and I just felt like I need to speak up for the people of Galt, to stand up, to be seen and to be heard.
Silva served in the Army for 33 years and was deployed to Iraq in the early 2000s.
When you're built to serve, there's no off switch. So once I retired from the Army, I continued to get involved. I got involved in my community. I got involved in my children's schooling and their education. I served on several different committees. Ultimately, I ended up on the school board in Galt.
Silva says Veterans Affairs and education are two issues he'd want to be the most involved in if elected to Congress. He says to address the state's housing and homelessness crisis, he'd start with the push for more resources to address substance abuse.
What do you think really needs to be addressed at the federal level to help this area?
I think what Americans want right now more than anything is action. Americans are frustrated. This is on record. This is one of the least active Congresses that has sat, in terms of active legislation.
What would you have done differently than the Republicans currently serving in the House?
So really, I don't work for the Republican Party. I don't work for a president. I work for the people of California District 7. And if the people of California District 7 tell me this is what we want, this is what's best for us, then that's how I would act. That's how I would vote.
Is Donald Trump someone that you would support in the upcoming election?
Well, first of all, he hasn't won the nomination of my party yet. So there is that answer. But I can tell you this, I've voted for the Republican nominee in every presidential election since I cast my first vote for Ronald Reagan. So it shouldn't be any surprise who I'm going to vote for come November.
Silva says he's a moderate Republican who is pro-life. He acknowledges California voters have enshrined the right to an abortion.
Would a national abortion ban, is that something that you would vote for if you became a member of the House?
To be honest, I'm not prepared to make a decision on that either way.
Silva says he believes it's time for someone new to represent this area in Congress. Democrat Doris Matsui has held the seat for 2 decades.
What do you feel that she's not doing that you could do better?
When you look at a span of 20 years in Congress, what has she accomplished for us? What is she continuing to accomplish? Because again, the economy is not where it should be. We don't have the border security under control. We're not passing legislation to support Ukraine. These are definitely things that my constituents want that she should be pushing for, and it's not happening.
In Sacramento, Ashley Zavala, KCRA 3 News.
Now, earlier this week, Ashley spoke with the other candidates in this race, including the incumbent, Congresswoman Doris Matsui. You can find those interviews in our voter guide, which is on kcra.com.